Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast, and I am your host, Samuel. In this podcast, I interview top medical sales reps and leading medical sales executives across the entire country. And it doesn't matter what medical sales industry, from medical device to pharmaceutical to genetic testing to diagnostic lab, you name it. You will learn how to either break into the industry, be a top 5% performer within your role in sales, or climb the corporate ladder. Welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. I am your host, Samuel. And today we're going to jump right into it with part 2 with Rick Barnett. Rick Barnett's the founder of Replite. Replite's a contract sales company in the medical sales space. So they have a contract sales force. They bring people on, and then they contract with medical manufacturers to use that contract sales force to sell their products and services. So again, thank you for listening to the Medical Sales Podcast, and I really do hope you enjoy this interview.
You don't, I don't know what your last Uber ride was like, right? So I don't know if I adopt that or not.
That's hilarious. So how do candidates normally find you, and how do clients normally find you?
So we go out, believe it or not, in the U.S., there's 384 job boards. And when I say job boards, I'm including social media channels too, right? So everything out there, Monster, Indeed, Zipper. So we go out to all of them. Okay. So typically a candidate will find us on one of those job boards. As far as clients, a lot of our clients are through referrals. So someone at XYZ company is contracted with Replite. We've had success. They're talking to a colleague at another, and so they come to us. We also get a fair amount of clients that come to us, through social media, through LinkedIn. We see a lot of folks come to us that are in the startup arena. And I think the reason being is startups are really, there's a tough spot when you start to commercialize a product, right? Whatever the product is. In my mind, you've got 3 choices. You can go out and find distribution. And look, there's a lot of distributors that are awesome. But you never know what you're going to get. Like you could get distributors that just grab dirt and never sell anything. Right. Or you can go out and hire a direct sales force, really expensive, full of risk. Or you can kind of do a hybrid approach and call Replite. So we get a lot of startups that go, hey, I want to put 10 reps in these 10 cities, and then we're going to put distributors everywhere else around the country. That way we get the best of both worlds. So but mostly through referrals and social media is where we find our clients.
Gotcha. And you guys are only in the medical device sales space?
Medical device, pharma, biotech. If it's got medical in it, we work in it.
So anything in healthcare sales. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice. Excellent. So, okay. Are you a family man, Rick?
100%.
100%. So we have to know how you're able to have this stellar career, go through the military, create this company in light of still having a family. So tell us, wife and kids, what's the story?
Yeah. So first, I'm a believer. So we kind of rank things in 3s right here, right? So I believe in God, family, and work. That's kind of just my deal. And so I've got a bride who she's amazing. I traveled for 20 years and she's just amazing. I tell people she's an angel that was sent to me because to be married to me and to go through this craziness it takes an angel. But we've got 3 lovely children. They're for the most part grown, 24, 20, and 17. We live in Atlanta. My wife and I, we have a genuine, a deep faith and a care for each other. My job is to be a servant leader for her and our family and our employees. And I think keeping it all together, being an entrepreneur, being a steward of this business, we just try to keep our alignment correct. If our alignment corrects, it seems like that we make it and the kids make it, our employees make it, because, I should probably tell you this. So when we get a client, we sign a contract and we hire people for them. For that first, however long they're working with Replight, we care about them. We love on them. Our job is to make sure that they're in a position to thrive, right? So it's not, we hire you and good luck. It's, we hire you and how can we help you throughout our time with you? So I would tell you that for me, for the Barnett household, we have a true list of priorities, right? Like I mentioned earlier. And I think that's, if you would ask me the secret sauce, that's what I would tell you. I mean, it's seriously God, family, and Replight. That's kind of what, that's what we are. And all the kids know that, the wife knows that. That's just what we are.
Keep it simple. No, I'll take it. How do you make it? How do you sustain yourself though? What's your routine? Do you have some practices, some specific things that you do that keep you in line?
Yeah. So I'm an early riser. I'm up typically between 4:30 and 5. I'll spend quiet time, in prayer and thought. I'll then work out, and I'm typically at the office by 7. Sometimes I work late, but there's a few things that I found in my life. So, when I get home, I never walk in the house on a cell phone. Wow. It's against the rules. You don't do it. Nice. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., I don't take a call, period. It's just a practice that we developed early on. It's just, back in the day, early on, the kids were little, we'd be having dinner, my cell phone ring, maybe it's a potential deal. I'd be on the phone and it doesn't show that you're spending quality time. So my routine is that, man, every day. It's kind of up early, a little quiet time, a little exercise, work, trying to serve our clients and our people, and then go home and spend some time with family. I spent 20 years traveling, so time with the family is pretty precious to me.
It's critical. Yeah, I can imagine. I want to switch gears a little bit. So I want to find out what you've seen. How has hiring changed, and what have you seen from your perspective? Think back to when you were building teams with Stryker, and through your growth with Replight. How has the hiring game changed? 2020 hit everybody, right? The pandemic hit everybody, just blindsided everyone. And social media has become much more important. Different things have happened, different dynamics. From your perspective, what would you say have been some of the most significant changes since you started with Stryker up until today?
Well, 2020 is still impacting us. It's not even over yet, right?
That is a fact, yes.
So this is funny. I guess March of 20, when, Zoom instantly became wildly popular, we've been using Zoom for years. So for us, it was just like not a big deal. At Stryker, we sat down in front of people 1, 2, 3 times, in a hotel lobby, in a restaurant, and put them through the process. That's radically changed. 95% of it's on Zoom, or some sort of, whatever, Microsoft Teams. I'm not endorsing any particular platform, but, and I think from a hiring perspective, there's some nuances in how you work candidates through electronic interviews versus face-to-face. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's different. The thing that kind of gets me is I know that there's companies out there that will interview someone now that it's electronically, they feel like they can interview someone 7 or 8 times. The process seems to be lengthened out.
Putting them through the ringer. Yes.
If it takes you that long, you're missing something. It really, if it takes you that many touches, I feel like there's something you're missing. So for us, we're always going to, when we get the opportunity to speak with a candidate, we're going to look to make sure that they're full of integrity and they have a moral compass. That's the first thing, because that just fits in our culture at Replight. We're going to make sure they have energy. If you don't have energy, you're not going to be a good salesperson, because you got to have energy. And then we're going to look for bandwidth. Can you learn? Can you, take in information and learn it? and can you hustle, right? So those three things are like the common things. But I think how you get to those things, the questions that you ask are different than sitting across from someone and seeing their body language. It's just different. But I don't think it's bad. I think if we're honest with each other, the electronic interviewing can actually be more efficient and a lot less expensive. I mean, dude, I used to fly from Atlanta to, whatever, LA, have a day of interviews and fly back. I can do that sitting right here in the office and never get on an airplane. So there's some not that there's much good that came out of COVID, but there are some things that in the changes that I think have created some efficiencies.
Sure. So, from your vantage point, were you already anticipating this years ago? I mean, 5, 6, maybe even 7 or 8 years ago, were you anticipating things going this direction?
No, but for our model, because we cover the U.S. and some OUS activity and many different companies, my team couldn't physically get to those people.
Right.
So Zoom was our Teams or electronic interviewing was our only option.
Got it.
I couldn't be in, like today, I was in, I don't know, including you, I've probably been in 9 cities so far today. I couldn't have done that.
That's a great point. So you weren't anticipating it, but you wanted to be able to increase your bandwidth, and it fell right into the direction everything was already going in. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have tried to do what I did today back when I was a striker, it would have cost you $8,000 and you wouldn't have enough time in the day.
Wow. So with that being said, now you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. So anticipation is very much a part of what you have to do, right? To stay in business, keep things going. Where do you see things going now, maybe 5 years out, with everything that's happened, with COVID making things happen even faster? What do you see the environment looking like with the hiring process in the healthcare sales space, maybe five years from now or more?
So I think everything happens for a reason. I'm not sure why COVID happened, but I think it taught us, and I'm a big believer in learning from difficulty and obstacles.
Sure.
I think that companies now, because of March 20th happened and, everyone was going crazy and then all of a sudden everything stopped, kind of the world stopped. I think it taught us some things. I think, I get calls daily saying, dude, we need to have more flexibility. We need to be more efficient. We need to have less risk in case COVID-22 comes along, right? Like, how do we stay nimble? We got this huge company. We've got a lot of product, a lot of clients, how to stay nimble. And again, we feel really, really fortunate that a lot of companies that call us go, dude, you're our answer because you keep us nimble. If we contract with you, we can go up and down as needed.
Right.
So I think companies are they're not in the medical space. I don't think we're going to depart from the care aspect. That's going to be there. But how we sell and how we commercialize, I think is changing. I know it's changing. I shared with you earlier, during COVID, we had our biggest year. And I don't know of a lot of companies other than hand sanitizer that can say that, right? Like, companies were saying, hey, we still need to get to the customers, but we don't want the risk of, hiring 20 people and then having to let them go or whatever it is. So I think this model and companies being able to do things more efficiently are probably here to stay. I think it's a lesson learned from the pandemic.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense. Excellent. Well, one question I want to ask before we close up pretty soon, Rick, is your core philosophy. You kind of laid it out there. You said God, family, Repline. So I love that. But as far as what you'd want to share, like I said, with our audience, we have people that want to get into the industry. We have people that are sales reps in the industry. And then we have, of course, decision makers that are leading the industry. From your vantage point, from your experiences, from what you do on the day in, day out, what would you like to share with everybody listening today?
So let's start with the folks who are trying to get in the industry.
Sure.
Okay. One is prepare yourself. Be prepared before you start to get into this. And obviously, I think with what Samuel's doing, amazing program. They can certainly help you prepare with evolving your success. I think be different as a candidate. Be different. Be relentless in your follow-up. I would tell you that if you're not relentless in your follow-up, a hiring manager is not going to see you being relentless on the sales cycle. Yeah. So don't be obnoxious, don't be rude, but be relentless and follow up on every aspect. As far as the sales reps that are currently in the space, you know what it takes to be successful. You are successful. Pivot when you need to, but don't waver on the fundamentals. The fundamentals, you got to care about the patients, and you got to be resilient. And those two things are just never going to go away in my mind. And then, to the manufacturers and the companies out there, I put out a post a while back about, the definition of insanity is continue doing the same thing in the same way and expect a different result, right? So I think that partnering with a company who will get behind you and beside you, especially when it comes to the most important thing in your business, which is people, always. There's not a business that doesn't have that. So get with a company that, if you need to grow or scale, get with a company that you can partner with, that you trust. Certainly you can call us at RepLite. We'd love to serve you and help you in any capacity we can. But change is going to happen. We know that. That's a constant. So how open to you are to the, shoot, move, and communicate and changing your pivot. It's important. I did a podcast back right when COVID hit that talked about the pivot, right? So we all have to. We have to in our lives. We have to in our business. And we want to help companies to be able to pivot and do it, efficiently and effectively and hopefully with fewer risks. So that's the three buckets that you asked, I think.
So well said, Rick. I love it. How can people find you at RepLite?
Yeah, so it's rep-light.com, info at rep-light.com. Come see us. Even if it's not to talk about a deal, to talk about just what we're doing and how maybe you could adopt some of the same principles. But we appreciate all the interactions. Whether they turn into dollars or not, the interactions are important for all of us to thrive in the business.
Excellent, Rick. Rick, thank you for the time you spent with us today. And we can't wait to hear and see more of what RepLite does. And that was Rick with RepLite. So if you're a decision maker and you want to find top talent for your organization, you're looking and you're saying, what's a way that we can find the best people that can really work for us, and you even want some leeway to see how they perform within your organization before you take them on, then you need to reach out to Rick with RepLite. Now, we always talk about our guests on this show, and we're always doing what we can to find guests that really bring a different perspective to their industry, a different perspective to this space, allow you to see what's going on from a different set of lenses. One guest that's been on our show before that I want to just remind you of is Chris Larson. Chris Larson began his career in medical sales about, at 25 years of age. He was in the industry in the OR space for about 18 years. And he decided to actually hang it up because he wanted to be more of a family man and be the best father that he could actually be. And during that 18-year period, he was able to generate a lot of income. I mean, he was making, around $300,000 per year. But he invested it into his true passion, which is financial freedom and helping other people grow their finances. And that's exactly what he does today. His main goal now is to help others reach the financial freedom that he is living. And if you'd like to learn about his secrets and how you can become financial independent, then you need to get a free copy of his book at nextlevelincome.com/book. Chris is the real deal. He's no joke. I mean, just think about that. To be able to walk away from a $300,000 a year position and throw yourself into entrepreneurship, you obviously know something and you're doing something right. And again, he's living the life of true financial freedom. And who doesn't want to be a part of that? You know, so many of us talk about this as a goal that we have in our lives. Well, here's a guy that's actually doing it. And he's creating a pathway and an avenue for people to do the exact same thing. And everyone's on board. Doctors are on board. Medical sales executives are on board. Sales reps are on board. I'm on board. And now it's time for you to get on board. So if you have money to invest, if you have money that you want to put into action, this is the man you need to do it with. Again, the book is Next Level Income, and you can find it at nextlevelincome.com/book. So you probably heard this episode and you're thinking about Rick with RepLite and what he did in his career. Most of the people we have on this show have been in the medical sales field in some way, shape, or form. Now, we do have guests that have not, but a lot of them have. And you might be thinking, you know what? I want to be in that field. How do I get into this position? You've been interviewing and it's not happening. You're not making it past the first or second or even third round. You're not getting that offer. Or you've been trying and you haven't even been able to get an interview, and you're saying to yourself, you know, what's the secret? Like, how do you actually get into this position? What do I need? What do I need to do? That's why I want you to visit evolveyoursuccess.com. Go to evolveyoursuccess.com, select Attain Medical Sales Role, and you're going to fill out an application. And in that application, it's a short application. It's going to describe some things for us, and you're going to have a conversation with us here at Evolve Your Success, and we're going to talk to you about what's getting in your way, how to get it out of the way, and how we can help. So make sure you visit evolveyoursuccess.com. We have a program for people just like that. They can't get the interview or they're not getting to that offer and they really want to be in this industry and they know they want it. And then again, if you're someone that's looking to brand yourself on the LinkedIn platform, LinkedIn has become, let me just forget about LinkedIn. Social media has become a platform that's almost essential for sales representatives. Because of what happened with COVID and because of access, everyone had to come up with more innovative ways to reach their customers. And we figured something out specifically with the LinkedIn platform. And we are now helping medical sales professionals do the same thing, and we want to help you. So if you're someone that's like, you know what, I want to brand myself on that platform. I want to sell more to my territory on that platform. I want to be a thought leader in my space. Then again, go to evolveyoursuccess.com, select Improve Sales Performance, and then select the LinkedIn branding program. Set up a call, have a conversation with us, and let's talk about how we can help you. Again, thank you for listening to the Medical Sales Podcast, and make sure you tune in next week for another episode.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, I have a couple programs that show you exactly how to break into the medical sales industry, become a top-performing medical sales professional, and also how to masterfully navigate your career to executive-level leadership. Check out these programs and learn more at evolveyoursuccess.com. Stay tuned for more awesome content with amazing interviews.